But there we go. We are working. We are live. And it's time for Pondering. Welcome, Ponderers, one and all across the fruited plain. I am Pastor Joel, and it is time for Pondering. That's right. Thank you. It's exciting. For a minute. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Friday. TGIF, and it's Free For All Friday, which is even better. So let me tell you what we do in Pondering and what Free For All Friday's about, and we'll rock and roll from there. What we do in Pondering is we ponder all things. We think them through. We do not swallow sound bites or little data hooks or little politically correct phrases. We think about them, we analyze them, and we talk about them. There are no holds barred in terms of topic. We are pretty much an equal opportunity offender here on the Pondering Radio program. And we do this from an unabashedly, unashamedly, and yes, with a big smile and a hug, unapologetically Christian perspective. We let other perspectives share. We don't shut people down. Our only rule is this: if you disagree, don't be disagreeable. You don't have to call names. You don't have to impute motives. We can have a civil discourse on this show. We do this Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're very happy and blessed to do so. We're also available on multiple podcast venues on demand, so if you can't watch it live, you can download and listen to it anytime. Spreaker carries us, Mixcloud, and others, so jump on board whenever you like. Of course, on the Facebook page, that would be the Pondering Radio Facebook page, we do live stream, as some of you are seeing at this moment. But you can post on that page around the clock, as well as post in the live stream if you want to chat, comment, ask a question, whatever it might be. You're welcome to do that. You can also email ponderingradio@gmail.com, ponderingradio@gmail.com, or you can call 860-500-7163, 860-500-7163. Good morning to Susie Q. Good morning to Charity. Good morning to Linda. And anybody else I missed. It's great to have you aboard. Let me give a little wave to Linda there. It is always a pleasure, always a blessing. So here's how Free For All Friday works. Free For All Friday works like this. It's a free-for-all, baby. There are no rules. No rules, mate. Just right. You can talk about anything you want. You can pose a question, make a comment, tell a joke. You can zing me with a scripture. You can hit me with your best shot and fire away. You can... I'm in a weird mood today, I have to confess. I should warn you. I see I'm getting some really weird sunlight here. So I think what I'm going to do is close the shade. Hold that thought. But you can do any number of things here on Free For All Friday because it is Free For All Friday. You are able to... There we go. That's better, a little bit. You are able to, come up with whatever. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments. If there's a verse you've always wondered about, if there's a question you've always wanted to ask, if there's an idea, a concept, a news article, whatever, throw it at me, baby. Here we go. Charity says, Happy Mother's Day, Linda and Susie. Amen. Happy Mother's Day to all our ladies, including those who don't have kids, because I'll tell you what, ladies, you have an opportunity in the church to be part of the mother of us all, as Paul called the church, the Jerusalem from above. And you have an opportunity to be a spiritual mom to a bunch of people, little kids, little trids. And we appreciate that. We appreciate the fact that you would take that on. And so Karen has gotten her second Mother's Day gift now. I got her a dozen roses that showed up yesterday. Actually showed up a little early, but that's okay. And she's enjoying those, as well as her bird feeder. All is well at the Rissinger Ranchero, because when Mama's happy, everybody's happy. But we won't go to the alternative. We don't want to talk about it. It's too frightening. Just kidding. No, it's all good. And I hope to bless our daughter, who's a great mommy, this Sunday as well. It's a little tricky doing these things and trying to be socially distanced, but we're taking some liberties with the social distancing within the family, I will tell you that, as much as we're respecting it outside the family. And that's one of the things I was going to bring up today. If you guys, again, Free For All Friday, we'll do whatever. Hit me. Bring it, baby. But I was thinking about a couple of news stories. One, and you probably heard this, about the woman in Texas that was arrested for opening her salon against the government mandate. And the judge and this illustrates the problem with socialism on so many levels, and that's the push politically that we're fighting against and have been for some time in this country. And it's what the next election will be all about. The standard American freedom, capitalistic way of life, a representative republic, democracy, etc., versus communistic socialism. It's that simple. People don't like that moniker or that description, but it is. It's a fact. That's what we're deciding about, deciding on, and will be, and we have been, but especially at that level, national level. But anyway, this woman gets arrested, and she's told by the judge, if you apologize for opening your salon, we'll let you go. Or if you pay a fine and promise to stay closed or whatever, we'll let you go. I'm not sure about that second piece. I think there was a fine involved. Or you go to jail for a night or whatever, for a day. And she said, lock me up. I can't apologize. In fact, that's the headline today, if you saw the story. I couldn't apologize, she said. Why? Why couldn't she? Well, because she believed that she needed to open for two reasons. One, her own need to have an income and survive and feed her family. And two, her staff, her other, manicurists, etc., hairdressers, they needed a job too. They were all going crazy and they're hungry and they don't have enough. So she opened up. Now, listen, I might argue that she should have been subject to the authorities. And I probably would have in my case if I could have. I get that. Good morning, Jen, by the way. Happy Mother's Day to you, too. On the other hand, on the flip side of that, if you're hungry, your kids are hungry, and your staff's kids are hungry, you're going to wear masks, you're going to wash your hands, you're going to use, disinfectant and clean the place well. Is it really bad to open? And she made the decision it was the lesser of two evils. And I can respect that. But here's the thing. Okay, so we arrest her as an example. An example of what is my question, right? Good morning to Stella and Ed, who've joined us too. Bless you guys. Happy Friday. What's the example of? Government authority is the example. Government power, control, also dependency on the government. So you're not supposed to go work your job. You're supposed to have them send you a check or some food. And this is how socialism works. This is how it's promoted. Because logically speaking, who's at risk if this woman opens her shop? Well, she is. That's her choice, isn't it? It's like smoking. Who's at risk if you smoke? You are. I don't think it's a good idea. I think the body's a temple of the spirit. We smoke, we destroy the body. I give you 100 reasons why we shouldn't smoke, but it's not the government's business to tell you can't do it, right? So she's at risk. That's her problem. Well, the people who come into the shop are at risk. Isn't that their choice too? They could wait on the haircut or hairdo or whatever, manicure or whatever we do in those places. Pedicure is the weirdest one. I could not stand someone touching my feet and doing little knees and painting. I can't. I'm ticklish. I can't handle that. I'd be climbing the wall. But anyway, they choose to go in there. Isn't that their choice? Should the government be able to tell them? Well, no, it's not just that. If one of the manicurists is, she's got COVID, she doesn't know it. She passes on to the person who doesn't know it, and they take it home, then they're going to give it to them. Again, did they not choose that? And if everyone else, and especially at-risk people, are taking precautions and are being protected, like in nursing homes, etc., where people like me, if we get to go in, we wear masks and gowns and shields and all kinds of others, the gloves, booties even sometimes. Is it just it's her family and it's her? It's her patrons who come in and her staff, all of whom have chosen to be part of it, as long as everybody else is social distancing and doing whatever. So should the government then punish her? My answer is absolutely not. And I bring this up because there is a vaccine that Tom Hansen, by the way, posted this. If you want to check it out, it's on his page, South Carolina Conservative. I think it's on his website. I know it's on his Facebook page. That there's a vaccine now that's in phase 2 of trials. It's pretty far along. If that vaccine works and they release it, let me tell you what's going to happen. I'll predict it. You heard it here first on Pondering. Remember, okay? Here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna say everybody must get vaccinated. Okay. By the way, good morning to Stella and Mickey, who's here. Great to have you guys. They're gonna say everybody must get vaccinated. So, by federal or state mandate. Okay. We all know that's not going to happen. There are going to be a lot of people who say no. People will object to it on religious grounds. People will object to it on medical grounds or, whatever. Personal freedom grounds. They're just going to say no. All right. Probably 2/3 of the population will do it because of the fear, et cetera, of COVID-19. So that means 2/3 of the population theoretically should be thereby immune. They should be covered. They should be protected from the virus. Now think this through with me. Why then, at that point, should the government try to force anyone to get vaccinated? Apart from socialism and control, government control, manipulation, and dependency. Because, why do I say that it's improper and inappropriate? They shouldn't. Because if I have the vaccine, I am supposedly immune. If you choose not to get it and I come hang out with you or go to your store or go to your salon or, just have coffee with you, I'm not going to get COVID-19. Theoretically, right? So I'm protected. Now you're not protected. So if I saw someone else who did, and the little virus is crawling up my shoulder, and I hug you, and it jumps off my shoulder onto yours, and you get sick, is that the government's problem? Is that my problem? Is that the person who I encountered's problem? No, it's yours. You chose not to have the vaccine. Now there may be other treatments too, and all that. I get it. The argument will be made, oh, no, can't do that because the virus will spread again and we'll have all our hospitals overrun and there'll be not enough PPE and people will get... They said this, guys, listen, they said this about the wave that we just went through. They said that we would hit a peak and all our hospitals would be overrun. They closed down soccer fields, and the Army Corps of Engineers came into some of our cities and built these big, temporary hospital units with multiple hundreds of beds, and Mercy ships sailed into New York Harbor ready to cover. I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last month you haven't heard much about those overflow hospitals or the Mercy ships. I'll tell you why, because the Mercy ship has sailed. It is no longer in New York Harbor because we didn't need it. So if we didn't need it at the peak of the virus's attack, the high end of the curve, and we come out with a vaccine that covers, let's say, 2/3 of the population that choose to have it and get it, why would we need to be forced to round everybody up who hasn't gotten it and make them get it to prevent hospital overflow? If it didn't happen without the vaccine, then mathematically it should never happen with the vaccine. And the reason it'll still be pushed, just mark my words, in a word, is socialism. So I want you to think about that. Some of what we're seeing in the news is a precursor of some of that. I think we need to be praying. We need to be standing against it. We need to be voting for people that stand against it. People like our president, people like Ted Cruz, people like Rand Paul, people who have spoken out and said, no, this is not right. And I think they are right on the money, so to speak. Stella says, I will not do it. And Stella's a nurse. So there you go. So Jennifer says, what about this? Can an employer require their employees to be vaccinated? Yeah, that'll be tested in the courts. Some will probably do that, and especially in the medical field, right? They'll say that because we need you. You need to be protected. And personally, I don't have a problem with that, and I'll tell you why, Jen. I work for a company, a large company, medical company. If I choose work for them and they require that I get vaccinated, just like they require I have a flu shot every year, I'm going to go do it. I don't have a problem with shots myself. I don't like people being forced to get them. I stand against that. But personally, I'll get a shot. I don't care. So if they say to work for us, you got to have this because of what you do, I'll do it. And I think they have the right, because I also have the right to say, I'm going to go work somewhere else, right? I'm going to do something else. Over the years, I've had so many different jobs. I joke about it. I should have a business card that says, especially when we started Mill Pond Church and I was, with a bunch of teenagers who had no money and I'm trying to, run the church and support my family. I should have had a business card that said Pastor Joel Rissinger, AFAB, anything for a buck. I drove an oil truck. I painted houses. I mean, you name it. So, I can go do something else. If I don't want to be vaccinated, they tell me I have to be, I can say goodbye. But if they feel they need me to be protected because of what I do and protect those that I'm encountering on the job, especially elderly in nursing homes, they have a right to do it, and I have the right to say no and leave, or I can choose to do it and stay. I don't have a problem with that. But when the government steps in and tries to mandate it for all citizens, that's a problem, because there's no choice involved now. And that's what I think we need to stand against. Charity says that's her fear. The employers are going to force it. Jen says, I just read an interesting article yesterday about limitations on employers who want to take their employees' temperatures every day. Yeah, we've been doing that. Every day I get a little love note. It says, I get a card from my company. I say, oh, how sweet. They want to say thank you. No. It says, do you have any of these symptoms? Blah, 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 blah. Yes or no. And then it says, what's your temperature? Or do you understand that, you're supposed to check out and quarantine yourself if you have any of these symptoms? Yes or no. And then it says, what's your temperature today? And I have to plug it in. And it's mandated. In fact, they want to mandate it every day, not just days I'm working. And I have refused to fill it out on days I'm not working. Just out of personal conviction of, freedom. If I'm not working and I'm not exposing myself or anyone else, to the potential of COVID-19 on a Saturday, I don't think it's anybody's business what my temperature is. So I haven't sent it in. I'm a little rebellious there. But when I'm working, they have a right to know, because hey, I choose to work for them, and I choose to do this job, and maybe encounter people that might be sick or could get sick. They have a right to know. I don't have a problem filling that out. But I would think a restriction, Jen, could be not when they're not working, not on a day off, not when they're on holiday. They come back. Okay, that's a different question. But I don't like the idea of being mandated to report your temperature when you're not even on the job. Stella says they're pushing an agenda, one religion agenda. Yes, that's right. You're right, Stella. You've as always, my dear, you are several steps ahead of everybody. That's exactly right. People don't see it. It isn't just a political agenda. It's a religious agenda. And that would take an entire program to develop and prove, but it's absolutely correct. And you can see it in history. As you look back over the history of our planet and the various countries that have taken on a socialist mantra and approach, it is not just political. It is absolutely religious. And it's frightening. It's a one world religion. It is a uber ecumenical religion. It is almost an exact pattern, or it's been attempted to be over the centuries, an exact pattern of what we saw in first century Rome, where the Caesar would say, in essence, and the parliament, the Roman parliament, would say, listen, you can believe what you want. You can have any faith you want. We captured you, and you were pagans, and you worship different, gods and trees and whatever. Okay, fine. You can do that. We don't have a problem with it. Just do not try to spread it. Don't proselytize, and make sure that you have Caesar first. If Caesar's first, and you worship him first, you honor him, you obey him first, we don't care what else you worship. You can do it. You can have your festivals. You can have your celebrations. You can have religious services. We don't care. But you start pushing others to do it, and you refuse to worship Caesar first, then we're going to kill you. And that was the Roman government mandate. So on the surface, it looked very ecumenical and free. Everybody could do what they want, and everybody could worship the way they want. But in reality, you had to put the government first, and if you didn't, you're done. And you couldn't push others. So now think about the early Christians. This is how early Christians were martyred by the millions, because they had a mandate from Jesus, who said, make disciples of all peoples, right? And baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I'll be with you, he said, through all that, to the very end of the age. I'll be there. Now, they were either going to disobey him and ignore that, or they were going to obey him and risk death under the hand of the Roman government. And you know the history. They chose death. 8.2 or 3 million of them by 300 AD, as I recall the numbers. And here's the thing, in their death, there was multiplication. You say, why didn't God rescue them? Because they were saved. They were going to heaven. They were fine. What happened, though, many times was in the process of their martyrdom, Soldiers, even Roman soldiers, would be saved. There are records of Roman soldiers watching these people and saying, I've never seen anything like this. I mean, these people are praising and singing hymns while we're burning them at the stake. And there's a story of one soldier just fell on his knees right next to the stake and just repented and asked for forgiveness and embraced Jesus right there, just based on the example of these Christians who were willing to go to death rather than refute and deny that Jesus was Lord. That's pretty powerful, isn't it? And it spread like wildfire to the point where the entire Roman Empire was taken over by Christianity, such that it became the official religion of Rome eventually. And Daniel prophesied about that, and it was, I believe, part of why ultimately the Roman Empire fell apart. But Christianity didn't die with Rome, did it? So we can go back through that history, but the fact is, people were told they had to follow a certain religious system, ecumenical system with the government at the top, and that is very much where socialism leads. So Stella, you are always on the money, my dear. I told you I should make you a chaplain. Jen says, or a country requiring the vaccine to travel. Yeah, that may happen too. And again, I don't agree with that for their own citizens, but in terms of me going into, Namibia or Zambia or Botswana, if they say you can't come in without the vaccine, I have a choice, don't I? I can get vaccinated or I can get vaccinated and go in. It's my decision. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with their own citizens being forced to do it. But, a country can make its rules. They can. They have the right. They're sovereign nations, and I believe in national sovereignty. And I don't believe in a one world governmental system, with open borders. I think that's another element of this agenda, which leads to some of the atrocities of the book of Revelation, to be blunt. I mean, that's how that system operates. Read it closely. Charity says, just don't ask him to fix anything. No, Stella means she's a jack of all trades, not me. I'm not. When things break here, Karen says, please don't fix it, honey, please. So anyway, that took up a little more time than I thought it was going to. But I think we should watch these things and definitely be aware of what's happening. Don't just kind of go along with our little bubble. We need to be, and the reason we need to know these things and ponder them and stand up for the right truth is because we have to pray appropriately. We have to support the people that are doing the right things and not vote for people who aren't. And if we don't understand this and we don't look at these things a little more closely, we get sucked into the herd mentality, the lemmings running off the cliff mentality, and that's dangerous. And I think God's people have been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and shouldn't wear it. So, yeah. So lots going on there. Some really great things are happening. There have been some moves in the courts recently that are very positive. Not getting a lot of news outside, or coverage in the news outside of Fox News. But there have been some real positive Department of Justice actions to undo the Russian hoax stuff that was taken levied against our president and others. And you should check that out too. I don't have time to get into that right now with 1 minute left. Listen, we're up against the end of the program. I hope you have a great weekend. Join us at Lifeway Church if you don't have a church home, or even if you do, you can watch multiple. You can be a church live stream junkie on Sundays. You can binge watch church on Sunday. And if you want to fit us in, I'll be preaching for Mother's Day. We will be airing those messages and worship at 9:30 and 11:15 a.m. Sunday morning on our Lifeway Church Facebook page, also at our website, lifewaych.com, lifewaych.com, and on our YouTube channel, Lifeway Church YouTube channel. We'll also have Kids Church available. It's phenomenal. Kids Church is fun. I watch it sometimes just because, it's more at my level, being a big kid, but it's great. You'll love it. And we'll be talking about one of the examples of the Bible, women in the Bible, who probably doesn't get a lot of press. She if she does, she's probably seen more negatively than positively. But because all of us are flawed, there is no such thing as a perfect mother. I chose her to illustrate some good things that she did that I think also reflect how the church should function as a whole, not just moms, but we'll definitely celebrate mom in the process. So yeah, Shannon, welcome aboard. She says, "Thank you. Dangerous times. No T-shirt for me. LOL." Yeah, amen, sister. So yeah, join us 9:30, 11:15 a.m. Sunday morning. Don't forget that. Don't forget to join and look at some of the life groups and other things you can participate in during the week at lifewaych.com. And we'll be back here on the show Monday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you could be with us. Tell your friends, neighbors, and complete strangers about pondering. The more, the merrier. And listen, until we meet again, stay in the Word. Keep praying. And do not check this at the door. Don't swallow the sound bites. Don't believe everything you hear on CNN. In fact, don't believe anything you hear on CNN for the most part. Keep on pondering. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Bye for now.